Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, and if you're new, my name is LJ and you're watching NoClutch Garage. And today we're going to be working on my car a little bit. We have this charge pipe from MST. If you haven't seen my video of the unboxing and why I have this charge pipe, feel free to click on the link up above, and that will pretty much show you how this charge pipe came about. This MST charge pipe is not available for purchase. You won't find it on the website. MST is my sponsor and they sent me this charge pipe, so I'm gonna go ahead and install it. And given the fact that I have never actually posted a video of a charge pipe install, interestingly enough, we're gonna go ahead and do that. And hopefully this will be helpful for you, especially you newcomers to the B58 platform. This installation video is like 2 years behind, but anyway, the time is now. We're gonna do it, so let's get right into it. Obviously the first thing to do is gonna be to open up this hood, and there it is, my engine bay. I have the MST intake with the clear cover. We're actually going to switch out that clear cover because it gets really dirty. I think I'm only going to use it for like show purposes. I'm going to put the metal cover on there. But to give you a quick rundown of how this is going to work, I've done this plenty of times. So first thing we want to do is whatever intake you have, you're going to want to take it off. It's just going to make life easier. It's going to make it easier for you to get underneath there and onto the charge pipe. So we're going to take off the intake first, and then we might have to remove the inlet. Actually, we do have to remove the inlet, so we're going to remove the inlet, and then we're going to get to the bottom. There is a C-clamp at the bottom of the charge pipe. That's pretty straightforward. And then we have these bolts to take off. We take off the old pipe, replace all the sensors, and put the new pipe on, put the intake back in, and that's pretty much it. There's not really much to it, but it does take a little bit of work. So right now, first thing we're gonna do, we're gonna take off this intake. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna do a time lapse of all that, and then we're gonna get right down to the charge pipe. Alright, so we have to remove the crankcase ventilator hose. To remove these, it's actually quite simple. There are these kind of like locks, and you have to press into them, and it will release the sides. So released one side. These tend to break really easily, but if you have trouble removing it, just go on the other side and very gently pull it off. And then that one's finally released, and then there's another one that goes to some vacuum lines down here, and it's going to be released the exact same way, but it's a tight fit, so you might have to release it in parts. You can release this part first if you want, or if you can just get all of it all at once down here, you can also do that.
Hey, I want to help you.
You want to help me?
Yeah.
This is really hard for little kids, baby.
Oh.
So let daddy do it, okay? Alright, so it definitely took me a little while to take that off, but here's the clamp that you have to take off at the inlet. It's just a regular C-clamp. Once that's off, there are a few more things you might need to disconnect. One of them being this wastegate connector. And this just comes right off. Just pull it backwards. There you go. Comes right off. And then this one right here, you can also disconnect. You can also just remove this thing completely. I'm going to go ahead and disconnect it just because it's simpler. Then I can just reconnect everything back. And then undo the vacuum line lastly, and it should all come right off. And all these cords, they're all keyed and they're all different, like the connectors. So you shouldn't have an issue getting them, you know, in the right spot afterwards. And then this inlet's out, but this vacuum line has been giving me quite a bit of trouble. So just unlock it from one side, and then I'll unlock it from the other side. Pick tools are essential for this. You're gonna need a few of them just to get things out. Like that clamp, you need a pick tool to take that, pull that up. Alright. Wow, this is a pain to take off. God, this took forever to take off. Alright guys, so now that we have the whole charge pipe out, we're gonna go ahead and undo that clamp down there. But before we do the clamp, we're gonna go ahead and take the screws off up top at the throttle body, and those screws are gonna be T30s, and so we just use some T30s to take these out. Then we move on to the next part. 3 T30s off, and this will just come right out. Before you pull the charge pipe completely off though, make sure that you take off these little sensors. I'm gonna go ahead and unplug them. The clamp down here at the bottom is relatively easy to take off. Might take you a few tries, but it's relatively easy. It's right there. To do this, I do recommend a pick tool. A pick tool is going to make life way easy for you when working on this car for this particular job. So we take a pick tool, stick it in here. You can go ahead and lift. You see that the clamp is lifting, and once it's up like that, you can just pull it back unless it relocks on you. If it relocks on you like it just did for me, you just pull it back, and if you're comfortable enough, you can leave this in there so it doesn't lock back up, and then just pull it all together.
One eternity later.
Alright, after fighting that charge pipe for forever, it seems like, we finally got it off. This MST pipe, I don't know if other pipes are the same. They might be, but I had to remove the clamp from the OEM pipe. To do that, I have to destroy this little plastic thing, which is fine. I have another stock charge pipe. I mean, if you're upgrading, I don't think you're ever gonna go back to the stock charge pipe, but it kind of makes it really hard to resell. So if you're not okay with that, don't do that, and just get yourself another clamp, or ask your manufacturer to send you one. I'm okay with this. So the next thing we got to do, we got to put this clamp in here. So we're just gonna put it in like so, and there you go, goes right in there. And when you go to put the charge pipe into the turbine, into the inlet, you just push it in. You don't have to try to keep it open or anything. And then the other thing we have to do is take these sensors off and put them right in here. Take this one off. This is a 12.14mm socket that you have to use, and for this one it's just a small, I think it's a T25 or a T20. I'll find that out for sure. So I'm using a T15, and that works fine. Let's go ahead and take these off and replace them, put them on the other charge pipe, and then we're able to put in the bottom half and then the top half, and we're pretty much done. So let's go ahead and get to it. All right, now comes time to put everything back. So now let's take this charge pipe in, and just goes right in. And it's okay if it's loose, that's not going to be an issue. Make sure on your new pipe that all of your O-rings and seals are in place. I had to transfer the one from the OEM pipe to this one. I'm going to go ahead and assemble the whole charge pipe and then put the inlets and the intake back in. We're going to go up here. So now what I have here is obviously this coupler that will go all the way in, right? And then we have the top part of the pipe, and I have already transferred the sensors over, so we're fine on that. I'm going to go ahead and put it in place up here. I'm going to move this coupler around a little bit. I want that MST logo front and center. We're going to reuse the OEM bolts, and again, these are T30 bolts. That bottom one, it's a little bit hard to reach, so I'm gonna go ahead and use a swivel. All right, looks like it's in there pretty good. Let's put the clamps on here. So I like my clamps to look nice and clean. Now we have a completely upgraded B58 charge pipe. It's got the bungs right there. It's got the bungs right there at the bottom, just like I wanted them. And now all we have to do is reconnect everything. So I'm gonna go ahead and reconnect this. Take this and reconnect this right here, and then we reconnect these. And there you go. And now we just put the intake back in. But that's pretty much the installation for the charge pipe. Good luck. Alright guys, that has been it for the charge pipe installation. Now after this, all you have to do is go ahead and replace your intake and reconnect all the connectors. Very straightforward. If you have any questions, go ahead and leave the questions down in the description down below. I'll try to answer everything I can. If not, you can also reach me on my Instagram at NoClutchGarage, and I will definitely be answering questions there because that's actually where I spent most of my time, but I like doing YouTube better. I know, it's kind of weird. Anyway, yeah, that's it for the MST charge pipe installation. Now remember, this is a unique charge pipe custom made for me, but this process works for any other charge pipe that you're installing. I'll see you guys later. Peace.